Okay, good afternoon, folks. Hope everyone has had a great weekend and is ready for business. Fair bit of volume overnight. I actually did take a trade. I'll talk to you in a little bit, which was on my funded futures. I'm trying to swing trade that from the open, and I actually took that short there, and I made $1,000 out of it. In fact, tell a lie, it was the short on the NQ I took here. We've been up here 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and I took that short. We cleared out any sort of choppiness here, any liquidity here, and I shorted that and made $1,000 on that on one contract overnight. So I'm quite pleased with that. So market is open. It's been open about 20 seconds. So we got 2 legs up and a bearish bar. That triggered. Pushed up from a tick. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. So is this a channel? Possibly. It's fitting nice at the bottom. We got a touch, and a touch. So a possibility. So we just have to keep an eye on that. So last day of the Apex sale finishes today. I think it's usually about midnight Eastern time. So what they'll do next, not sure. Sometimes they extend it. Sometimes they go back down to 70%. So we'll have to kind of see. So we'll just keep an eye on that. So I've got to be careful shorting here, a leg and a leg. I thought that was the one. So 1, 2, 3 attempts to go up. It's hard to say at the moment. Very hard to say. So there may be a channel. It's hard to say that. I think we might have had 2 legs down there. Let's just check that. A leg. A little bit more than that, I think. So we keep an eye on this. In fact, I think I'm going to get rid of that for a minute. So let's put our overnight highs and our overnight lows. So this may turn into a bit of a range. It's hard to say. I did think we may have a leg and a leg. We kind of had a leg down, 2 attempts to push high, and I thought we could get another leg down. But at the moment, that NQ is starting to look like it's ranging. If the NQ goes up, I think that yes, well, so let's just move that over. I've dragged it over. Okay. Hey Speedy, how you doing, my friend? Anybody see that video that I posted on the Facebook group? That Kane, the British guy who took that, well, he was paid $1.8 million. It's quite ironic, a couple of days before he was actually up to $3 million. But Apex have paid him, not fair enough, but they've frozen all his accounts. So what they're going to do, I don't know. So I mean, they give us the impression that they want to put traders, I know, yeah, they give us the impression they want to put traders onto live accounts and trade live accounts. So a guy that can make money like that, he comes over as very smart, very switched on, very savvy. A guy like that, surely, if you want to make money out of traders, if that's really, you know, what the story is about, then surely guys like that you want to hold on to. So it does make you wonder sometimes, do they just want to sort of keep you while you're losing evaluations, and then, you know, when you start to make money, ditch you? So it's hard to say, really. You know, you tend to think that the business model is in it. You're making money, you know, out of traders failing, and then when traders start to make money, you copy their trades and make money out of them then. And also, you're getting 10% of what they're making. So you would expect, if he's making that sort of money in 70 days, you would think they would make a lot more money. Well, you would make a lot more money out of a guy like that than if he was blowing evaluations, because he wouldn't blow that many evaluations. So I'm just wondering whether we're heading back up to this level. Yeah, the reason I like that is because we had a channel down and we kind of had we went up here. Well, we were up here a couple of times. We broke, took out any liquidity that was there, and then we went up there, and then we just turned. So I took a short there actually overnight, my fellow futures. One contract made $1,000, I think $1,004, I think, something like that. So I can't trade it today. That's my best day. I've done 1,000 before on that, and they got a 40% rule. So what I want to try and do is withdraw some out of that in the next few days. I want to sort of experience a withdrawal from them. You know, see if they're as quick as they say. Not sure what's going on here at the moment. Not looking for shorts or longs at the moment. Well, I mean, we're definitely moving up, that's for certain. But looking on this NQ, I think there's a fair chance we could move back up to this level there. There's probably going to be some liquidity there. There was some here, and we pushed up that strongly. There was a bit there probably for the lower high. Once we hit that, it kind of went up and up pretty quickly. So I think there's a good chance we at least break this level, but whether we do it here or whether we come back to that EMA first, I'm not sure. It's kind of like a bit of a bull flag, isn't it, that? So maybe we'll just push out the top. Unfortunately, if I was going to take a long here, it would have to be down here on this ES. We're nowhere near at the moment, so nothing I can do, really. So, NQ, excuse me, pushing up, sort of like a bit of a bull flag, really. We've pushed up now and broken that. I thought we might do so. You would like to think the next place to visit would probably be up here. So whether we'll come back for a pullback, really. But yeah, 1.8 million. Mind you, it's $1.8 million. So when you convert that to British pounds, that's about 1.3.5. And then the tax man takes his 40%. So you're left with about £800,000. A bit of a cop-out, really, isn't it? I mean, £800,000, don't get me wrong, I'd love that. But when you think $1.8 million, you end up with 800 grand. He's obviously made money before. I think he said he lost when FTX collapsed. I think he said he lost, was it about 600,000, 800,000? So he's obviously made money. He does seem like one of these kind of people that just makes money. Some people are just, I don't know, they're disciplined in whatever they do. Anyone else? Unable to get an email today. I bought one a while ago, but nothing active on Rhythmic. I have heard a couple of people saying they've been unable to get an evaluation. I don't quite know why. Let me have a look. See if I can get one. So. If you bought one a while ago, it just might be a bit slow as markets just opened. So okay, I've just purchased one. Okay, your payment has been successfully processed. Okay, so I've just purchased one. So what time are we now? 14:39. See how long it takes for that to pop up. It's usually pretty quick. I've never waited longer than about 3 to 5 minutes. Sometimes it's super quick. Don't forget the 80% off ends midnight tonight, so it may be a little bit more busier with buying evaluations today, so that may be why. Jan, how you doing, my friend? Often takes 60 minutes for it to activate if I bought around open. Okay. I can't remember where I usually buy, to be honest with you, but yeah, it's probably going to be a little busier because of the 80% off finishing tonight, so that might be why. So, okay, so we've got a nice channel working here. Now, there is going to be, in my opinion, some liquidity there. We haven't managed to break it, which is interesting. We pull down, we go 1, 2, 3. So there's a triple test there. Now, with this big push down, 2 attempts to push higher, you may find that there'll be guys short in that expecting to get this second leg down. So I'd expect a little bit of support there. It may be a bit hard to get through. So I'm going to have to be a little bit careful here. If I think about a long, ordinarily with a channel working this nice, you would be looking for a long, wouldn't you? But this concerns me because if I'd have been here trading that, push down 1, 2, 3, I'd have been interested in taking that, especially as we've had a leg down, 2 attempts to push up. Well, you may say 3, but 2 clear legs up, and then it reverses. So I think there's a good chance we get down here. Could be completely wrong, but my main point is I'm just a bit wary about going long. Not so much the going long bit, more where I go long. So zoom in a bit here. There is, if that finishes a second entry, it's hard to say that. I actually don't think it's that terrible. And part that reason, we've got 2 legs down on the NQ, leg and a leg, but we have broken this area, so I just want to be a bit careful here. So nothing as yet, but I'm guessing, yeah. I mean, as Jan says, when you buy at the open, you know, that's probably where there's going to be a bunch of orders going through. So it may take a bit longer. And obviously with the 8% finishing today, that might just, you know, increase the volume a little bit, which is probably why. As soon as I pops up on mine, I'll let you know. Now we have got some medium impact news. I can only remember once where the Chicago PMI had a little bit of a spike, but I don't know if about you guys, but lately when we've had medium impact news, it has been a little volatile. So I might start marking that because it's only a matter of staying at it for a minute or two with medium impact news. If it does spike a bit, I don't think it'll be long. Leg and a leg. There's 2 legs down there. I mean, really, medium impact news very rarely does anything, but lately it seems to have done. You bought one, it's working fine. Yeah, I've got nothing as yet. When did I? 39, so it's been 4 minutes so far, so far not so bad. Hey Ryan, how you doing, buddy? So just popped up. It took about 30 minutes ago. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. I've got one coming up soon, hopefully. In fact, what I might do, as I only have one trade here, I took a short on my funded futures up here. So I've hit $1,000 on that one, and that's the most I've had in a day. So I don't really want to go for any more than that. I'd rather keep it there. Is it up yet? Is it? Yeah. My Fun of Futures. Yeah, that's it there. 1,040. That's just on one contract, that. And I shorted that here. I like the fact that we'd had a leg and a leg, and I thought that was well worth it after such a strong move up, and it's clearly rejected from this area. So that's the most I've done in a day. That is so tempting.
Order
I'm going to
filled.
take that. Why have I not got a strategy on? What's going on here? I've got no... Got no stop here.
Order
I've got to get out
filled.
of this. I haven't set my blooming thing, have I? That's silly. Silly boy, Lance. I got lucky there. Oh, that is so silly. I've got the one on, but not the other. We have got the news now, but nothing. So let's have a look. See if we get a higher low here. I might go for the higher low. Might trap some shorts here. But we have come up to this area, so that could come down. I'm going to get a buy order
submitted.
The news has come and gone, so nothing as yet. So leg, sideways, and a leg. I hope this doesn't go too far, but if we can trap that, there'll be some shorts there as well. But we have hit some support here, so there is a possibility that that might not get above there. If it does get above there, then that's for me going up. So if it gets above there, I just hope it. Let's have a look. Do you know what? I'm going to set a buy order above here.
Order submitted.
Because it may trigger that and come down. So I'd rather it catch that one, in all fairness. Something about this I'm not happy with. Something I'm not happy with. Order
cancelled.
Let me think. I don't like the way it's triggered that, which is why I put my buy order above there. I've just got rid of it though, because there's something about this I don't like.
Order submitted. Order cancelled. Order submitted.
It's not pushing up strongly for me. This could come down and trap that long. Something I don't like about this. There's a bit of support along there if you look at that, so I'm going to sit tight here. I think this may break below there. Channel down, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go high. It's tough on this. You took it from a, yeah. Well, okay, we broke above there, so I think that's probably okay.
Order submitted.
So I'm in it now anyway. There'll be a lot of liquidity above there. My only slight concern is it doesn't break above there. But on the NQ, there is some more distance it can go. So I think this is likely to break those highs anyway. If it gets above there, it may have a little pop. If it gets above there, it'll get above there and it should have a little pop. I'm still waiting for I still haven't had my eval yet. Right, there's a few people in it anyway, so I'm going to give that.
Order filled.
Oh man, straight down and got me. Oof. Wow, you little bugger. I was going to give that an extra tick then, but I wasn't quick enough. Would it have made a difference? It may have done. No, it wouldn't have done. Little bloody devil. Little bugger. Nice higher low there. Leg and a leg. Bullish bar, higher low. Sneaky bugger. Okay, that's me not trading this account for the day. Let's have a look. That's the only frustrating thing. So I can't even trade my eval yet because I haven't got the damn thing. That is sneaky. Stopped. What a shame. Stopped. Ouch. Stopped. Got stopped. Same. Stopped out. Loads of people got stopped. Wow. Oh shit. Loads of people got stopped. You too. Strange. The only concern I'd said is because of the support. I mentioned earlier we had support here. You got stopped out as well, yeah. Yeah. See, I don't mind. I don't mind getting stopped out as long as I thought it was an okay trade. I did and ah about that, which is why I put my order one tick above there. But look at that. Comes down, takes it out for a tick. It was a good... Yeah, I think it was okay. We'd had a chat. You can see it. A leg and a leg. Push up. And a sort of a failure trap in the line. It's probably going to go up, but it's frustrating that it comes down, takes you out for a couple of ticks. I very nearly moved me stop for a tick there. So sometimes I do. So it would have been here. So it wouldn't have made no difference in all fairness. Slight of this, very sly of the market to do that. Nice fitting channel. I got no issues fitting. Perfect. Fitting lovely at the bottom. Leg, higher, low. The only thing I'll say that I noticed is this amount of support here. This trade was no surprise going down. Look at the 10K chart. Let's have a look. Well, I'm not so sure. See, that to me is a leg up with the break. This is the 10K chart. So, see, Mac doesn't bother with it. So we have got a break here. So it could still go up. This doesn't necessarily tell me bearish. This tells me we've got a leg and a leg down here, push up. This doesn't tell me bearish. And Mac doesn't even use the 10,000. So that wouldn't necessarily have stopped me taking a trade. Can email you the latest version of Pat's journal. I think I downloaded it, mate, actually. Did you put it on the 10K? I'm not so sure, mate. It's hard to say, really. I wouldn't necessarily say the 10,000, but let's get it back up a minute. I think I downloaded it, Jan. It was on the Facebook group, I think, wasn't it? The thing is, we've got a channel up here and we've got 2 legs down and a higher low. Now, I'd have expected to retest these highs. The only thing I would have said, this to me now is a correction. So I think now we're going to have another leg up to the top here. So if you think we're in a downtrend in the 10,000 tick chart, I'd say we're not. I'd say this is a correction. So that's what I think is going to happen. We're going to correct and then push higher. The only bit that would have kept me out of that made me question getting in there was the support here. But it's one of those things. Did Thomas... Let me have a look. I know loads of people took it. He's put it as a higher low. I'd be surprised if he hasn't taken it. But loads have. What a great way to start the week. LOL. Too close to the news? No, it was after the news, and it was only me, Pat. Stopped out. That's Monday for you. That was a good trade, unfortunately. Name of the game, I guess. I don't mind losing those. If you think it's a good trade, you don't mind losing them. Nothing is certain. At least it wasn't down to my something or other. Yeah, beyond... Now I get to revenge trade the rest of the week. Yeah, I think a lot of people got sort of caught out there. It's one of them things. Well, he marked it. He hasn't showed me a picture that he's traded it. He's marked it as a higher low, but he's got that as a channel. I had it as a break. Looked like a small break to me. That was a little down and a bit of sideways, so he came down, had a pullback, and then came down for a second leg. Unfortunately, that one's still, it's not actually open, but it's showing it is. Rhythmic. Let me just disconnect that and connect it. As soon as my evaluation pops up, I'll take my evaluation. I'm surprised because I thought that was well worth taking. I'm surprised that lost. That's what I mean. I got no issues taking those trades because if I believe it was an okay trade, and the only bit that I mentioned is I was umming and ahhing whether to take that or not. And then we had another bullish bar. I thought that was worth it because of the only bit I'd say was the 3 touches up here. So if you look at this, we push down. We have 2 attempts to push up. So there'll be a bit of support there. So maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know. We may be going down, but this could also be a leg and a leg, a correction, and then another leg up. Leg, 2 legs down and a correction. It's just unfortunate that. But that's like that. Remember those ones I talk about down and across that are very close? That was sort of the opposite, but well, so that one worked, but that one didn't. Now, they say sometimes, like Mac will say, you're safer to wait for the higher low. Be interested to see if he mentions that or not. But I blame Mac for that. He said, because he often says you'd be better off waiting for the higher low. So we'll see anyway. We'll see. I can't see. He's marked it as a higher low, but I haven't seen any comment that he took it. Hold on a minute. Yeah, there's always a possible of a wider downtrend, but Mac doesn't pay attention to what happened the day before. He's more concerned about this. You don't hear Mac talk about. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think we have. this is setting up to me that looks like a correction, leg and a leg. So I still think we're going to push up. The only bit that might have made a difference, as I mentioned, with those, as we bounced off it before, but it's a perfect working channel. When we have a break like that, you'd expect to make a new high. But sometimes, for whatever reason, it doesn't happen. Sometimes when the day progresses, you may figure out why. But at the moment, my thought process is this is a correction. We'll see anyway. See, I wouldn't consider that as any type of a downtrend, really. I mean, it just doesn't. It's just too wide and broad for me. I can't see a lot wrong with that, to be honest with you. It looks like a leg and a leg down, big bullish bar, bounced off the open, higher low, trapping some shorts, more shorts there. I thought that was okay. The only thing I can say is this concerned me, which is why I waited for the bar to close there. So it's one of those things, isn't it? Sometimes it happens, but I have seen those types of trades before. I mention them occasionally when I've been trapped coming short, down and across, I call them, those ones. Looking back, the micro was not played out well. I don't know. There's 3 bars there, and it goes sideways, so it looks like a leg and a leg to me. I mean, if you put it to there, well, maybe, but then you've got an overshoot, so I don't know. I'm not so sure. It looks like a leg because we got that little bit of a break, so I had it there. I mean, it's possible. It's possible that it was viewed as a, but I really don't mind taking trades like that because I thought it was okay. See, we come down, we push up, move across and come down. So that to me is a leg and a leg. But it's one of those things, isn't it? It happens. But it didn't bother me. It really doesn't. It didn't bother me at all. Yeah, see, Thomas is got it just as one leg. So I'm not so sure. But that's one of those things, isn't it? That's the thing about trading. It can be sort of viewed from either way, but I still think this will push up. This is like a leg and a leg to me. We've come down a little further, but I expect this to push up. I think there's a good chance we could make a second leg up. So I'm not thinking bearish, but I may be wrong. Over the course of the picture. I mean, if you look at that, where's that take us to these levels here? So, it's one of them things, isn't it? I still haven't had my evaluation yet. So, but unfortunately, what am I down between 240 and 215? So that's not too bad. It didn't bother me that really. As long as I think it was a genuine trade. Interesting to see if he does mention that later, Mac. Sometimes I think when he'll mention something, he doesn't bat an eyelid. So even if you go from here, it just doesn't look. I can't see nothing there. And on the 10,000 tick chart, let's have a look. See, if I was looking at a downtrend, if I was looking at a downtrend, if you went, this is 10,000 tick chart. So if you went from there, we had a break and a new low, yeah, and then we continued down, yeah. So you may extend it to there, then you may extend it to there. Then we had a break and we had 1, 2 pushes down, 1, 2 pushes down to a new low. Then I would probably expect to come up, certainly to retest these areas, which are here or here actually. So. And we've had 2 legs played out, I think. Let's have a look. Have we had 2 legs? Not quite, but I'm not thinking downtrend at the moment. If you had a downtrend, it's already played out, I think, because I mean, you go from there, then you extend it, then you extend it again. Break, 1, 2 pushes down, new low. You know, it's just one of those things. But I dare say there'll be some conversations about it. But you know, I don't mind losing these ones at all, as long as I learn something from it. If I think it's a genuine trade, you know, and I take it and I lose it, I've got no problem with it at all. The only frustrating thing is I can't trade these 3 accounts now because I've got it down at 1 loss, when I'd be okay with taking a second one. Say, you know, someone mentioned there 10,000 tick chart were in a downtrend. You never ever hear Mac about talking about downtrends from previous days or 10,000. You never ever hear him talk about it. All he ever talks about is what's on the chart for today, because we're not going for massive moves. Now, if it is a downtrend, it doesn't mean a trade like that can't push up, get out before the highs. It retests this again and then comes down again. That doesn't matter. You know, it's one of those things, isn't it? It's one of those things. But a lot of people took it, so that means, you know, it was a tempting looking trade. But it's one of those things. It'd be interesting to see if Mac mentions it. I dare say someone will email him about it. So, still waiting for my eval. Apparently, they are taking a bit of time at the moment. I may have to set my what's it to 2 trades, I think. As long as I take a genuine trade, I'm okay. It doesn't bother me. I might have to let it, you know, 2 losses and I'm done, but with a 15-minute timeout, you know, so I can't jump straight back in. But, you know, I feel perfectly fine. See, when I was talking about that, I was saying there was something about it I don't like. Now, I've mentioned a lower high in the past, and I called it down and across lower high, and something about it that just didn't work, and that looks like the reverse part of it. But you could say we've had a break new low there, but, you know, you may say, okay, so now we're pushing up in a new channel. I don't know. One of them things. We do this, though, we talk about them, and that's fine. It's okay to discuss these things and figure out why something didn't happen, but it's how you learn, really. But we have got a channel working up there, and it's working nice. Working nice at the bottom. It's clearly a leg and a leg. I think it's a leg and a leg. We go down, we go across, we come down. Bullish bar. That worked. The next one didn't. So if you'd have taken that for 2 or 3 points, so luck. Well, that wouldn't have even got 3 points. We'd have got 2 points off it. But I thought we'd trap some shorts here, and we did. And then we trapped the longs. So there was a failure there. Now, the market at the moment is going up. So we had a break, a failed second entry long, which triggered and immediately reversed. So you think straight away, we've trapped the shorts, we're now pushing up to retest the highs. That was my initial thought. There was something I didn't like about it, because if you look at the video back, I mentioned it. Because I was concerned it traps us and then comes down. There's something about it I didn't like, which is why I waited till it broke above there to buy, because I thought if it breaks above there, we trap longs, sorry, the shorts, likely we're going to push out. Okay, I've got my evaluation in now. So I'm just going to disconnect that and then reconnect it and then switch over to an evaluation. Yeah, see that one, Mac will mark that to me as a second entry long there, leg back second entry long. But I'll be surprised if he doesn't mention that as the higher low. The only the bit that I mentioned is this. We've bounced off this level. This seems to be a key level, this does. It was a triple test and a big bearish bar, which then pushed down. So it may have been something to do with that. But there you go. So let's switch over to this evaluation. And let's take it up to... I usually like going a bit more. Let's take it up to 4. Just check.
Order submitted.
Yeah, okay.
Order cancelled.
So moved on to an evaluation. Cinema, it worked for Max Scalp, so you probably think, yeah. See, that one worked. Yeah, let me have a look. You're probably right, actually. So Mac would do it from a tick above there. Yeah, it did work just work for a scalp. Yeah, it's one of those things. I'm not too bothered about it, to be fair, that I lost it. I don't mind losing trades that I thought they're good, because that's how it makes you better. So we got a nice channel working up. Now that to me is more like 2 legs than 1 channel, and then we did push up. Now, why didn't we get up to the top like we were expecting? I think it may have been something to do with that personally. It's bouncing off that level, and we went up and touched it right at the top and came down, and then we had a break. Now you could argue, you put it there may be a little overshoot. So that's a possibility as well. In fact, if I bring that down to there, okay, now that's starting to make a bit more sense. We go from here to here, and then an overshoot, new high. So that, I think, I'm wondering if that's an overshoot. So I'm going to mark this. What do you guys think? And I'm going to pop it on the what's it. So there may be an overshoot. So if we go right from there and we even touch that one. Fit in nice there. So yeah, that to me looks like a small overshoot. What's that do that? Wheel. So let's take a quick snapshot of that. Where is it there? Okay. It may be that. It touches there, it touches there, it touches there. It's fitting nice there. It even fits there. So that might be why. that was the news. No, I don't say that. I don't think it was the news that caused that to do that. That news just never does anything, in my opinion. And maybe it was. Maybe it was. Where was the news? 45, wasn't it? Which is there. Trap the shorts, pushing up. High and low. I don't know. Maybe it was. Maybe a combination. Do you remember what I was saying just as before the trade? Let me just reset mine. Do you remember what I was saying? If you look back, what I was saying before the trade about the news, medium impact news has never really done anything up to now, but recently it has. So I'm just wondering, I was about to type high impact news and stay out of it. So that might have been a better option. So let's think. So let's put that back to there. And put that to there. So perfect touch. Touch there, nice. Touch there, nice. A bit of an overshoot, so I don't know. It's hard to say, isn't it? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Maybe it's something to do with the news, I don't know. I dare say we'll. But you'll never hear Mac talking about medium impact news. He'll put his blue arrow round there, won't he? So, I don't know. We'll see anyway. We'll see. You have it as an overshoot. Yeah, I think it's... I'm not saying it's definitely that, but that's another reason why it might be. Because if you look at that bottom section, how nice that bottom section is fitting. It's really nice. Then we push up to the top, we come back, and then we have another strong push. So a lot of times when we have an overshoot, it will come back, make a new high, and reverse. And this, to me, looks like it's reversing now. So I think it's possibly an overshoot. This is clearly reversing that. Possibly an overshoot. And the fact that it's hit that level again. So there may be some buyers around that area, sellers around that area. So it's one of those things, it happens. It doesn't often happen. We rarely get taken out by really, by good setups. And I think, when that continues, well, it's one of those things, isn't it? But it doesn't often happen, that, to be honest with you. When it does, we usually have a big conversation about it. We had one that failed maybe about 3.5, 4 weeks ago. I think it was about 4 weeks ago. Loads of us took it. We had a channel down with a break and it was a lower high, and it turned out there was a small break, and loads of us, I think that was about 5 weeks ago, so it doesn't often happen. So I think it's a case of, have you noticed sometimes Mac makes these charts a bit tatty? Sometimes he'll cross them into bars, and sometimes, like he's sort of done them in a second, blindfolded. Not, I don't mean that in a nasty way, but I think sometimes it can give you the impression that, sometimes things like that don't really make a difference, and sometimes the slightest overshoot can make a difference. I know I lost a trade once before, a long time ago, and I asked Mac what it was, and he said we've had a small overshoot, and I'm not shitting you, it was tiny. It was tiny. It was something like that size. It was small. So the smallest overshoots sometimes can make the difference. So, I very nearly didn't take the trade because we were talking about the news at the time, and I did say there's something about it I don't like. But I think the thing I didn't like was I would rather see where this triggered and started coming down. So I moved the trade in the end, and I put it above that one because I thought if we stop that out, we trapped the shorts, and now we're going up to the top, which made perfect sense to me. But there you go. It's one of them things, isn't it? I didn't take the fell second entry short because the leg up broke the uptrend. I didn't want to move. I didn't have a break. Yeah. But I don't mind stuff like that happening because it's a good topic for conversation because, they don't often happen because you usually remember them, because when they do happen, we usually have a good old conversation, and usually there's a little bit of a bit of talk about it later on the sort of Facebook group. So I don't mind them happening. It's not a problem. And do you know something? I think a lot of times why I have problems with controlling my emotions is when I take a trade that I knew I shouldn't have done, whereas that one didn't feel that way. That I thought was a pretty good setup. So it's not those that send me on tilt or make me do stupid things. It's when I know I'm squeezing in, when I know I'm, taking a little bit of a risky trade. So I think what I might do from tomorrow is set my losses to 2 maximum, because it's a shame really to take a trade like that. And I'm only down 200 and between 215 and 240. So it'd be a shame really not to get another 3-point trade just because of one trade that I thought was okay. So I might change that tomorrow. Only got a few accounts anyway, so I'm not risking a massive amount. So in fact, what I might do here as well is trade the same one, but do it on 2 contracts. Is that right?
Order submitted. Order cancelled.
I don't need that trade copy now, so get rid of that. So I'm just trading an evaluation at the moment. I can't trade these 3 accounts until I reset them tomorrow. And with trading after one loser, if I had a tendency to move my stock for the second one, yeah. I've got to say now, I could safely say now I could trade and I will be perfectly fine. And I think it's because I took a trade that I genuinely believe to be a winner. Whereas if my patience goes, you're aware of it. If you've squeezed the trade and pushed your luck, you know it. And I think it's those ones that get my frustration up and get me taking a poor trade. So I think if I just genuinely stick to good trades, I don't think I'll have a problem. We know the ones that send us on tilt. How much money has I made from prop firms? Not a lot, actually. Over the last 2 years, well, the last sort of 18 months, I did $10,000 last year. I could have taken more. There was a couple of times where I could have taken another 2,000 out of 2, so I could have made 16,000 last year. And I've taken 4 payments, which is not much this year, which is $8,000. So I'm progressing, I'm improving, I'm getting better, but I've only really been trading this system for max system for about 3.5 years. So I've been trading total from never even looking at a market, which will be 4 years in December. So I'm still inexperienced. I'm still learning. But for a long time, I battled with the market. I just threw money at it, just out of pure frustration. But I don't tend to do that now. I can take a loss when I know it's part trade, anything else. Yeah, I think that's pretty common for a lot of us, Daryl. When you take what you believe to be a good trade, you're okay with those. But it just goes to show when you've taken a bad trade or a risky trade and you know it, those are the ones that create that frustration. I'm frustrating myself, so I'm going to take it out on myself. I'm going to take a stupid risk because I deserve it because I've done something stupid. And I think that's what probably sends a majority of people on tilt. I think it certainly does with me. Not that I go on tilt much anymore. It's definitely decreased over the time. So I feel like I'm in an okay place now, aiming in the right direction. But I think as long as you don't go on tilt and you take what you believe to be good trades, I think you'll start to make money. You go into your own live account anytime soon. Will I? Tough on that, Johnny. Until I can be consistent, until I trust myself, mate, I probably won't. Because at the moment, if I pay for an $85 PA account, that's really all I'm risking. Whereas to get that same $2,000 drawn on my own account, I'm risking $2,500. So I don't know whether it's a case of I don't trust myself at the moment, but when I become consistent and I'm confident those emotions aren't controlling me and I can make consistent money, even for 3-4 months in a row, then I'll consider maybe putting a small pot in of my own money and building like that. But, you know, traders I've talked to in the past have said when you get the trading right, the money just follows. You'll just make money, you know. But listening to that trader Kane yesterday, if you've not listened to him, I put a link to it on my on the website. The Facebook group. Go and watch it actually. But he talks about the aha moment when, you know, he said he spent a lot of time just like gambling and you know, and doing stuff like that. And then he had that sort of aha moment and then trading became easy. It's exactly what's the 20% off code? What is mine? It is UKFT20, bud. UKFT20. I appreciate that, mate, if you use it. All capitals. But yeah, Mark Douglas talks about as well, when you get past all that initial shit and all the silliness, the trading becomes easy. That's what they tell me. I've not experienced it yet. You're welcome, mate. No worries. You should start on a micro account. I may do at some point, mate. But what I'd rather do is make a little bit more from Apex and then maybe use some of that. And but you know, when you kind of think, do I trust myself? Am I, you know, how much in control of my emotions? I'm in control of my emotions way more than I used to be. And I think that is just a time thing. It gets better with time. And I know that because I can tell how I was, you know, 2 or 3 years ago and what I'm like now. And I had no control. You know, doing evaluations used to scare the hell out of me. You know, I felt like I was waiting on death row. You know, I was that nervous. And obviously over time, you know, the more you do these things, the more you expose yourself to these emotions, the more eventually they start to go. So at some point I will. I don't think now is the time. I don't think I trust myself fully yet, but you know, you just go, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. When I first started trading, I haven't mentioned this before, but I put $5,000 of my own money in. Well, tell it like £5,000. That was a little bit more. And I lost it all. And that's when I'd been trading for a month because I thought it was easy. And I actually gave my job up. I think it was, I don't know, it was in a week. It was a Monday or something. I'd driven to a place called Whitchurch, which was about 15, 18 miles from my house where I was working at the time. And I stopped at a garage and got a coffee. And I just had it in my head that, you know, because I'd only been trading on Mac stuff for about a month, and I couldn't seem to not win on a demo. So I picked the phone up and I told my boss that I'm not coming in. I'm finishing now. I'm going to become a trader. Came home, stuck I think £3,000 initially, lost it within a few weeks. Stuck another 2,000 in over the next maybe month, lost it all. And if I've done it, lots of people have done it. And, you know, I didn't have a massive amount of money, but you can imagine how much money some people lose. I've heard horror stories about how much. But strangely enough, when I first learnt to trade, I learnt with a guy called Andrew Lockwood, who was a currency trader. And this guy was an experienced, skilled trader. He worked for some of the big international banks. You know, he worked in the London Stock Exchange in the 80s. He'd worked for a bank over in, I think, Singapore for 3 years. So he was an experienced trader. And he helped them set up all their computer system in the early 2000s when everything really went all computerized. So he decided then to trade from home for his own money. And he told me he lost over 150 grand of his own money having to learn to trade again. You know, because although he knew what he was doing, he knew what he was doing from the perspective where you're on a trading floor. But, you know, when you're doing it on a computer, I'm assuming It's a different story. But so the more money you've got, the more money you can lose. So, yeah. But, I can see the potential here, and I can see if I stick at this in time, whether it takes another 3 months or another 6 months or another 18 months, that I'm getting better and better. My judgment of the market is becoming better, so my wins will become more and more. My emotions are getting less debilitating, where they're controlling me, so I'm getting more and more of my emotions back, and I'm making more of my own decisions rather than, those emotions jumping in there. I still have these weak, impulsive moments from time to time, but I've heard lots of experienced traders saying that, they used to get there all the time. So I think if you stick at it and keep getting better, you will eventually start to make money at this. I think it depends on a lot about, the type of person you are. I don't think I've got the ideal personality to be a natural trader. I'm driven, but I'm not one of the type of guys. I can work my ass off for something and I can never give up. But I'm not one of these type of focused people who can get out of bed at 5 o'clock in the morning, run 5 miles, have a shower, drink a green smoothie. I'm not one of those focused guys that can do that day in, day out all their life. That's not me. But if there's something I want, I pretty much always get it, obviously within reason. So I've got certain qualities, but I think I'm missing some things as well. I have got that little sort of, weak thing that sometimes emotions can get the better of me, and I can take a risk. So I think, let's have a risk, let's have a go, see if I can get lucky. I'm doing that a lot less, but I went for a stage of doing that all the time. Hence 600 failed evaluations. I just thought if I throw more money at this, it's going to work, and it ain't the case. But we all do stupid things, some of us more than others. I think I've done more than my fair share. But I think I am, I'm noticing where I'm better at things and trying to work on more where I'm not so good at others. Matt talks about a woman who called him out by email. He probably had loads of those. Because, I remember hearing about that. She blamed everything on Mac. Yeah. That just sounds to me like he's unlucky. He's got quite a nasty wife. My wife's been really supportive, actually, I've got to say. But the thing is, if he's lost an absolute ton of money, she's going to be frustrated to hell. So she's lashing out at Mac. Unfortunately, he's not the right person. Her husband's the one that's done the damage. You can only blame yourself. You can't blame anyone else really for blowing money. It's just, and unfortunately, this is the business we're in, and learning it is hard. And you can't experience emotions without having something to risk. If you're trading on a sim, you'll never experience emotions. It's impossible because you're not risking anything. And unfortunately, to be able to deal with the emotions, you have to expose yourself to risk. And unfortunately, when you're a newer trader, that comes with a price. But I'll tell you what I will say, and I've mentioned this before a few months ago. As you know, I live in the UK, so if I went to university in the UK, a 12-month course, minimum at the moment, it might be a bit more than this now, is £10,000 per year. So if I did a 3-year university course, it would cost me over £30,000. That doesn't include all your books, all your study material, and other bits and pieces you need for your course. So I would say you probably got close to somewhere around about £32,000, which is what, $40,000? So with spending money and learning to trade, what you're effectively doing is buying yourself an education, exactly the same as you would be if you went to university. You go to university to learn a career, and they're expensive. Some cost a lot more than that. Some courses, if things like doctors and stuff like that, you can pay 50, 60, 80,000. And you're not going to earn nowhere near as much money as a trader. So, no. It doesn't bother me putting the money in because, unfortunately, there's no other way around it. Hey, Karina, how you doing? What are you saying to me? People are crazy. They are crazy. Sim, yeah. Yeah, Max told us to go on a sim till he's blue in the face. Unfortunately, you get a little bit of success and those, those weaknesses to want to do it for real take over. Now, I talked to my brother-in-law. Now, my brother-in-law is an examiner. He takes people out on their driving test. And he's quite a switched-on guy, and he's very calm. And he was only doing it for a few months, and he took a few evaluations. I thought he'd be the last one, but yeah, it's very hard to tell someone how hard this is. You need to do it and get chopped up for a couple of years to realise how hard it is. That's the unfortunate side of it. But it's just one of those things, isn't it? Yeah, I've got a love-hate relationship with it as well. Kind of like a marriage, isn't it, really? Sometimes it's fantastic. Other times you're thinking, what have I done? But no, I'm lucky there. I've got a supportive wife, actually. She's pretty good. My wife works hard. My wife works in health and well-being. She works with adults with things like ADHD and stuff like that. So she's a buyer for them. So she puts a lot of hours in. Well, she's purchased or whatever they call it. But she's supportive, to be honest with you. I've been downstairs, and I'm not kidding you now, in tears once when I lost 5 accounts 6 months ago. So she's pretty supportive. Yeah, it's not easy, is it, this business? But if you pursue it and you keep working and keep learning, you'll earn more money than any other job, really, than most jobs. It's not difficult in this business, really, to earn $10,000 a year. $100,000 a year. It's not difficult. If you've got 20 accounts and you make $250 per week per account, that's over 10,000. Now, obviously, you've got to build a little bit of a cushion initially, but making $250 per week per account, it's not difficult. So it's not hard to make some decent money. There's not many jobs paying you $120,000 a year, and once you can make that sort of money, then quite a few traders have told me before, when you can trade, money will just follow you. You can't help but make money, but it's getting there initially. So 1, 2, 3. Now I would say if you looked at if you looked at some sort of volume profile or something like that, or whatever it is, I'd say this is an area where there may be some shorts. So I was looking for a bearish bar. There was one on my other chart, and I went to hit sell, and I hadn't switched it over. I saw that, and I went to hit sell, and I hadn't switched it onto my Apex, but that one would have worked. Easy for 3 points. As it was 1, 2, 3 at this level here. You could say there's a channel that breaking a new high, possible. Oh. Not sure about that. Could be a little break. Push up. I think there is a small break there. Even if I take it to there, there's still a small break. So I think that might trap some lot. I don't know. We'll have to see. I do trade my evaluations a little bit aggressively, as you know, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Matt marks that, whether he does mark that as an overshoot. Because if I was aware of that with an overshoot, I would have avoided. Mind you, even sometimes on an overshoot, we'll have a correction, and it'll still work. So it'd be interesting to see Mac's take on that. Sometimes when we do this, though, he doesn't even mention it. So I'm kind of hoping he does, because I dare say there'll probably be a few traders who email him about that, because it looks like a leg down. But that's anything I can think of, and the fact that we have bounced off this area, which why, there may have been a lack of buying. So maybe we have a leg and leg up. Which would take us to around about there, funny enough. A leg and a leg, which would take us right up to this area. So just be aware that I'm trading evaluation now, so I do take more riskier trades. So don't you guys copy me. I'm pretty sure you don't anyway, but don't think, he's taking the trade, I'll take one. I'm likely taking these aggressively. So I usually move my stop a bit and have a bit more of a risk. So just keep that in mind. Don't do stupid things like me. Please. Yeah, so I'd say another reason there, I've just noticed someone else has got that as an actual channel. It doesn't look terrible, to be honest with you. I thought it, but his bars look a little bit different to mine. I don't think it looks terrible as a leg, because it goes down and then goes across a little bit. But you could squeeze that, if I squeeze it together like this, you could make it look like a channel, but it looks like a break to me. But we'll see. So channel up, one attempt to go lower, second attempt to go lower. Let's see if we can get above this level. We couldn't get above here before, so I've ordered myself a new desk as well. A sit-stand desk will be here this week. Sitting down quite a bit, so I want to get a sit-stand desk. I've got a few new bits and pieces coming as well, so it's a newer desk, a nice thicker desk. I've got a better stand coming for my monitors as well. The stand I've got at the moment, it just sits on a little base plate, but it takes over some of my desk, so this one is a clamp in it. So I got that coming new, so I thought I'd treat myself to a new desk. I've had this one now for about 3.5 years, and in all fairness, it's got a bit of a bend in it. me leaning on it, and obviously 4 monitors plus extra bits. So it's hard to know whether to think about longs here or shorts. So we've had a channel now, we've had a break, one attempt to go higher, and possibly a second attempt to go higher. So possible failure here. We are struggling. Got to say, if we can get above all this lot, there's going to be a few stops there. Break, 2 attempts to push higher. Struggling again above this level. That comes nice and bearish. I may have a go at that. Second entry short, stroke failure. We've bounced off this a few times before, so okay, I'm just going to take a quick minute bathroom break. Hold me a second. Okay. Struggling to get above this. Okay, so we broke above here. Let's see now if this comes down. Shall I break new high? Definitely finding support there. So break, 2 pushes up to a new high. See if we get a lower high after this.
Order submitted. Some stops there for certain. And possibly there as well. Order canceled.
Yeah, see that NQ is just stacking up, isn't it? There's traps galore there. Nothing you can do at the moment. Just stacking sideways. Certainly, it's more on the NQ. Just stack it up now, isn't it? Okay, well, it's going sideways. I'm just going to make a quick cup of tea and take a quick 3 to 5 minute break. It's just static at the moment, going sideways, isn't it? So I'll be about 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, what did I miss? Not a lot by the looks of things. So this could come rushing down, take out that long, or it could go pushing up, take out that short. What's likely to happen? Tough on that. There is a failure there, but there's a stem there, and price at the moment is being held by that EMA, so could go up or down from here. Your guess is as good as mine, or we could have a leg and a leg. Could come down here, take out that, stop there and have a leg and a leg, and then up we go. So at the moment, there's just nothing we could do. It'd be just taking potluck otherwise. Thomas Wade, I still can't sell, still above the EMA. Yeah, EMA's holding prices. Doesn't mean it won't launch down, but you can't take a sell there anywhere really, even if it triggered below there. So I still think there's a fair chance we have that leg up there, 2 legs back, that we come up to these highs. Trouble is we could have a leg and a leg and then push up, so it's stacking up here, so whatever trade you take, it could stop you out before it goes where you think it's going to go anyway. See if we can get a higher low here. Be bad. So just link these up. Oh, dear me. Let's have a go. Let's take a risk. I think it's going to go up. This is an evaluation anyway, so I'm taking a risk. I'm out before these highs anyway, so fingers crossed. It is working up there. Come from here. Touch, 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 touch. Not only that, there is fact, I'm going to get out of this for a quick $100 because that is that a breakout pullback. See how this finishes. My only concern is we got a sideways, made 2 attempts to push higher and then down. I'm not sure whether that is. What did I get on that? Quick $100 anyway.
Order filled. Order filled.
I ain't got far to go. Come on, push up. Ooh, I've gone for 8 contracts here. I thought I was going for 4. Oh well. It goes to show, doesn't it? You take that, triggers you, come straight down, stops you 8. I need to get out of this.
Target filled. Order filled. Well, this account won't last long now. So it's probably going to be a short day for me today. I'll only go an hour and 45 minutes. Yeah, I'm going to reset my Guardian Angel trader to allow me 2 losses from tomorrow. Trouble is, you have 1 loss and you kind of it. So I'm just on an aggressive evaluation at the moment, which is about to get killed off, I think. I hit the button. For some reason, it triggered twice, or I either hit the button twice on the way down. This is about Order
to die.
filled.
This. Oh, that's it. Done. Just goes to show you how quick these accounts can go. I've got it set to 4 accounts, but for some reason it triggered, whether I hit it twice or what, I don't know. So I think I'm done today. I shouldn't really have been trading these. It's only because of the But I thought once we get here, it looks like we're going to push up. But it just goes to show you, doesn't it? The second you jump in, it knows where the risky trades are. As soon as you jump in, boom, 2 down, it takes them all out. It is frustrating. I mean, I wouldn't normally trade in this on me PAs. It's only because it's a valuation. But the trouble is, we really shouldn't be trading these aggressively, really, because it just doesn't mean just because it's an evaluation, it's not worth a lot. What's more, is it a comeback from tomorrow? Yeah, it does. I may leave it. I probably should leave it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just unfortunate that if I'd have been up 3 points there, it would have been a different story. But it's just one of those things, isn't it? But it just goes to show, really, unless you're waiting for a proper setup, the market knows where inexperienced traders and risky trades are, and they just take it out. I'll tell you something now. I'll tell you one thing I can categorically say. If you're trading these silly and aggressively, you'd have better luck closing your eyes and clicking buy or sell, because it goes like that and shows you that, look, we're working up, and the second you jump in, it triggers you, stops you out, and then you think it's going down. So as it comes down below here, you think it's coming down. So you jump in here, triggers you, pushes up, stops you out. It knows exactly where the risky trades are. These algorithms have been designed so cleverly. As I say, you'd have been best off closing your eyes. If I'd have closed my eyes there and took a trade, I just as well have taken a short. It's crazy, really. Just when you think it's going to do one thing, you do the complete opposite. So this looks like it's going up now. So let's switch over to a sim and just click buy.
Order
See what
filled.
happens. This is just a sim. So let's say click buy. See what happens. Put your stop there. This is just a sim, by the way. So it looks like it's going up. So we jump in there. See what happens. In fact, it does look like there's maybe a bigger channel there. Not sure. So look where I jumped in. Look, the second I'm in, straight away you're in the red. Just doesn't matter what you seem to do here. If you trade aggressively, it tends to screw you. So this is just a sim, by the way. Going to work. You think so, but it's in the second I'm in. Look, I'm nothing at the moment. I mean, yeah, it probably work, but it just goes to show sometimes you think we're going up, so you buy, triggers you, stops you out. You think now we're coming down, so you sell, triggers you, stops you out. This market is very clever. I really reckon if you're an aggressive trader, you're revenge trading, you'd be better off closing your eyes and hitting the button. You'll have more chance because you won't have a bias. So I think it's probably still likely we do sort of hit that measured leg anyway. Leg, sideways and leg. It's probably going to work. Unfortunately, I've lost my one on my PA account today. My one trade, I've got it set so I can only take one loss. Yeah, it does make you wonder sometimes if you're better off when you see that going up. You might as well short it. When you see it coming down, you might as well go bloody long. It tends to do the opposite what you do when you're trading sillily and aggressively. Just let this one finish and then I'm going to knock on the end for the day then. So, shame about that one, but there you go. That's the way the cookie crumbles. But I think it's probably, I think it's part overshoot, part, someone said we're in a downtrend. It doesn't seem to me like we are. I mean, Mac never talks about, in fact, someone said the 10,000 were in a downtrend, but it's hard to say that really. I mean, if you are in a downtrend, where the hell do you draw it from? Normally, if you were looking at a downtrend here, you would say there. So we have a break and a new low, then we continue to come down, so you may extend it to there. I don't think it looked that bad. So what happens? You had a break, 2 pushes to a new low. We push up, make 2 legs back, and now we're pushing up. So this, to me, really, the 10,000 tick chart looks like we're pushing up for another leg. There's liquidity there, liquidity there. So I think there's a good chance of this is coming up to this level, somewhere around about there. We pushed up, bounced off it, pushed up, bounced, pushed off, bounced. So this all of a sudden doesn't look like we're in a downtrend to me. Sorry, mate. This is only a sim on this, mate. I was just trying to make a point of if market goes up, if you buy, it comes down. Market comes down, if you sell, it goes up. No, this is only a sim, this, but hey, Sean, how you doing, mate? Yes, I was going to, wasn't I? Use my buy and sell. I haven't actually. I've used a limit order today. Well, I tell a lie. I've done it on this sim, yes, and the evaluation, but I didn't on the. I don't think I did on the trade. The only issue I have about doing that is if I want to close a trade for some reason, the close disappears. That's the thing. So I'm just going to try and just use orders. But look at that. See, as soon as I get in, look at that. Starts to go up, so you take that long. Triggers you, comes down, stops you out. 2 big bearish bars, and you think, yeah, now we're coming down. So you take a short there, triggers you, stops you out. So you think, market's going up. So you buy here, triggers you, comes down, stops you out. You'd be better off doing the complete opposite. I know I'm not taking these trades. This is just to try and prove a point of when you trade silly and you don't have a strategy, it just shows you what this market does. You think we're going up now, let's buy, triggers you, stops you out, and vice versa. But yeah, it just goes to show, really, you'd be better off closing your eyes, because if I close my eyes there and I'd have just as easily 50-50 chance of it in the sell there, and I'm winning a trade. So just keep it in mind, folks, this 80% off finishes tonight. Not sure what we'll get. Now, I think, when was it? Beginning, I can't remember. The last time they run out, they extended it. But sometimes they go back. So I hope they extend it, but I'm not too sure what they'll do. So just keep it in mind. I hope they do again. Yeah. You never quite know with Apex. Sometimes they'll do it and then they'll drop down to 71%, which I kind of don't get, because no one buys evaluations. You may get the odd one, but majority of people know that we get the offers and they wait. So you never quite know. I do like what they've got about. The only bit that concerns me is they put these PA fees back up to $140, because I like them at $85. That's quite a difference. It's $55. If you've got 10 accounts, someone told me, who was it? It bought 20 accounts. You save yourself over $1,000. Who was it? I can't remember who it was now. They said, I've just used your code and I've got 20 accounts. It'll come to me in a minute. And they passed them all as well. So they saved themselves $1,100 in PA fee. So it's a big chunk, that is. Look at this. I don't want it to work now. But yeah, it's a fair chunk. So I hope. I'm not too worried about the evaluation cost. As long as it's 71 to 80% off, I'm more concerned about the keeping the $85. Keeping the $85 PA fee. Kind of hope they keep that. Be nice to keep that permanently. We are supposed to be. Didn't you mention something, Karina? Aren't we supposed to be having some news this week, or was it somebody else? I'm sure it was Karina. We're supposed to be having some more Apex news this week. There is a lot of competition out there, yeah. I think things are just going to keep getting easier for us. We should get better deals. I wonder how long it'll be, or whether all prop firms will start to move towards the non-evaluation, move straight onto a live account. I wonder. It's so slow, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to get out of this anyway. It's only
Target
a sim, that
filled.
one. As you can see, it's just a sim, that one. So I've had my one loss today, which was a shame, because I didn't think it was too bad. The only conclusion, there's one or two conclusions. The fact that we've used this as support, and you don't know whether there may be some sellers there, but I think it's probably likely. Mac may mark this. I think the overshoot is more likely. Now, normally if you have an overshoot, I avoid going long until it sorts itself out. Now, sometimes we will have a nice correction, and then it'll continue on up, and then we'll just widen things up. But it didn't work there. It worked for a scalp. Mac may mark it. It worked for a scalp. See, if it works for a scalp, Mac will say it worked. And that one as well. I'm more interested in how he draws this. Well, one, the overshoot. Would it work? Would it? Yeah. Yeah, for me, the two bits I'm curious about is whether he had that as an overshoot, and did he put that down as a trade, because it would have made him a point. That's if you would have to get in on the nail, because it's got to push through. So if you got him one tick above there, I don't think it would have. You'd have hit your. Yeah, maybe you would have done. So right on the nail, it's a 0.5. So one tick, yeah, you'd have been out for a scalp, because it's got to push through the point. So that would have worked as a scalp. Now, some people say, well, there's a good reason for going for 1 point then. But if I'm going for 3 points, every one trade, I'm making 3 times as much. So I can afford some losses. But for me, a point's a no-brainer. I just couldn't do a point again. Even Mac will agree. You just can't go for a point doing 1 or 2 contract. They're just the calculations is just not there to make money. Really, you've got to make that money on a runner, really, or you've got to top your money up on a runner. This is indicative of this market this week. We've had such a lot of chop. There was a couple of days where it wasn't so bad. But same again, look. Just loads of chop. I mean, that is working a bit, but just chop, chop, chop. Where was the really bad day? Was that Monday or what? I can't remember. Where was this? Oh no, this is a bit early, but we had one day that was awful. That might have been it. Yeah, I mean, look at that. That was absolute crap. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. It's just whipping around. I mean, as it's working, you know, you can see, but it's so hard to trade stuff like that. But the weird thing is, as we're going up, if you'd have bought above that one, that one, that one, that one, well, that one, you'd have made money. But at the time, you don't see this. There is a bearish bar there, which is triggered, so I think that's likely going to push up, because there's going to be, you'd like to think some double stops there, wouldn't you? Bearish bar, lower high, trapping some longs. If that gets above here, it'll hit that measured move, I think. A leg and a leg. You'd think that would be the natural area where the next lot of support would be. So if we can get above this and this, for me, that's where it's going to hit. Whether it'll get above there or not, I don't know. But we've been up here 3 times before and it rejected from it. It couldn't do it. So it's hard to know, but it's kind of not a great day. It's a shame about that because that could have worked. You know, we could have been right up here with it. It could have worked beautifully, but sometimes it's not meant to be. The slightest misjudgment, or you're reading something not right. As I say, I think before we had those out there, and it kind of looked okay. But when the trade didn't work, you got to sort of reevaluate and say, okay, what did I miss? We got a touch, and quite likely an overshoot. Now we know overshoots can affect the market continuing up in that direction. So it's probably something to do with that. I think it's more likely it's that, actually. I think it's more likely it's that than this bit of support, because you'd at least thought we'd have at least gone up and got ourselves rejected off it. So yeah, choppy. It's very easy to get stung here. Okay, so we are starting to move now on the NQ. So same again here. We know this is an area where it's bouncing. So the way this is pushing up, I think there's a good chance now we hit the top there. Once we get above that one and that one, lower high there, bearish bar. You'd think naturally then we'd hit that measured leg. So see, this bar here could just as well trigger the long failure and a move down, but the way that NQ is moving up, there's quite a bit of liquidity up here on the NQ. There's 2 bars there and a few here, so I think there's a good chance this is going to get up at least to this level, and if it does, it's a fair old chunk. What's that? 30. It's another 30 points. So we'll see. But look at that now. That bullish bar is just triggered. So there's a possible failure there. Long failure. But I wouldn't take it just at the moment. We drop below the EMA, instantly push back above it. So we've spent all this time above it, drop below it, triggered, push straight back up. So I think it's more likely this comes to this level here. If it breaks above there, then there, that'll take it up. So I'm just going to sit this and let it break above there. Yeah, someone's gone long there. I don't think that's a bad call, actually. You could say, well, actually, it is a failure. It's a short failure. So we're above there now, so that worked for not much. You wouldn't have pushed through for 2 points, but I think that it's likely it hits here. Definitely work it up. Trouble is, we're very close to the top of this channel here, so it could take a bit of a drop before it tries again. So there we go. That's me done for today, folks. Anyway, it's a shame that really. I was in and out pretty early, actually. What was that? It was just after the market opened. It was around about the news. Someone said it may have been the news. I'm not so sure about that. I didn't see any slight aggressiveness. For me, the reason that reversed is likely because of that overshoot. So we had an overshoot, then we pulled back, pushed up, made a new high. So it's kind of played out that. Now, sometimes when we have an overshoot, as we know, we might have a nice correction and then we'll continue up. And sometimes it just damn right reverses. So we've got a break, an overshoot, pull back, new high, and then a reversal or a bigger correction and a continuation on. But I think the only reason I can see is that concerned me, but I don't think it's enough. So for me, I think it's more likely, but be interested to see what Mac's opinion is on that later. But there you go, folks. I'm done for the day. I got my one loss early, unfortunately, but that's the way it goes. I've got no issues with it at all. The losses don't affect me as long as I think it's a good trade. It's when I know I was taking a risk, the ones that affect me, but these don't bother me in the slightest, really. You don't like to lose, but I'm happy to lose if I believe it was a good setup, because it's how you learn. You don't learn anything taking stupid, risky trades because we know they're wrong. You know, you learn things from taking what you believe to be good trades, and that's the best way to learn. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. I've only got 3 accounts on the go here, so you're not risking a lot, really. So there you go. So if you're carrying on trading, good luck. It is a difficult day today. There's a lot of chop, and that's been the same for the majority of the week, I think. Sorry, Monday last week. Last week was just horrendous. Some days we had such a lot of chop, but there were moments of clarity in between. So I'll leave you there anyway. I'll be back tomorrow. So best of luck. Have a great evening. Stay safe. We'll do it all again tomorrow. Bye for now.